What's up, visionaries?
It's Mel.
And it's Greg. M.A.G Visits is back today bringing y'all another video. Now, today's video, we got another one from, some people we haven't done in a while.
Yeah.
But so we seen this one and it was like, we thought we should do it because we haven't done one in a while.
True.
So this one is from TheOdd1sOut. And this one is called Talking to Strangers. Now, what do you think about talking to strangers? There's strange people everywhere. Everywhere on the street, wherever you go, gas station, Walmart. There's a lot of strange people in Walmart.
I'm just going to be honest. Sometimes I don't even want to talk to the people that I do know. So I'm definitely not going to talk to strangers. So
that is true. It's like you only want to be bothered with the people that you already know. So it's like, yeah, the hell with talking to strangers.
And we love the Odd Ones Out. So we already know that it's going to be probably funny. Hopefully, because they usually tend to put a little bit of comedy when they do, their cartoons, and maybe a little creepy because it's strangers. So
yeah, and the Odd One Out is a little bit like it's called The Odd One Is Out. It's it's odd. So before we get to the video, make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Subscribe.
Make sure you leave a like on the video.
That's right.
Make sure you get comments down below.
Down there.
Let's go get to the video.
Let's pretend you get on a bus and it's super crowded. The only spot that's open is between two strangers. So you sit down between two people you never met and everyone is fine. Everyone's keeping to themselves, no one's making eye contact, it's perfect. Sure, your shoulders are touching, but that's just what happens. That's part of the bus going experience, you poor person. But then at the very next stop, aisle seat guy gets off. So now you and window seat guy are sitting right next to each other.
Scoot over.
But since you're in the middle, you have to be the one to decide, do you move or not?
Yes.
I honestly don't know what the right thing to do in that
automatic.
situation is. I'm conflicted. Because if you move, it would be silently telling the other person, hey, you're disgusting. I can't stand having our shoulders touch any longer, and I'm glad to finally get away from you. Ugh. But on the other hand, if I was the window seat guy, I would want the middle seat guy to become the new aisle seat guy. I wouldn't see moving as rude. I would just want his gross, disgusting body as far away from me as possible. That's not rude.
What is that?
But on the other hand, maybe I'm overthinking everything, and most people don't even mind being this close to another human, and they aren't struggling socially. I don't know. Now imagine that same situation, but with urinals. If you're in the middle urinal, do you move halfway through to the other urinal? Because I would. Are you supposed to talk to people when you're sitting 2 inches away from them? I always felt like I should say something, like, hey, did you see the game last night? I didn't. I was too busy drawing cartoons. But I realized that this is a two-way street. I'm worried about not talking to someone, but they're not talking to me either. We both agreed that there's this unwritten contract between us that we're not even going to look at each other. So I'm thinking about strangers and specifically how I treat them. And how I can make money off of them. Hey-oh! I'm just kidding. I would go out of my way to avoid talking to people. I would stay in my lane, mind my own business, no eye contact. If everyone's using a urinal, I'd have to pee tomorrow. Yes, I'm lonely. But now that YouTube's the thing, I'm interacting with strangers more often than I've had to in my entire life. So I've been thinking a lot about strangers. And first of all, I think the word stranger is already an insulting label for someone just because you don't know their name. Oh, I don't know this person. They're a stranger. They're strange. I'm the normal one. They're the freaks. They probably murder people with an axe. It's always the go-to profession of a stranger, an axe murderer. But the people you see throughout your day are all humans with their own hopes and dreams, and some of them may hope to kill you, but you'll never know because you didn't ever take the time to get to know them. So I think that the people you see throughout your daily life aren't strangers. They're potential friends. Except for the weird ones, obviously. Stay away from them. And yes, I'm telling you to judge people based on their appearance. They're the ones that chose to wear anime shirts in public, okay? So back to the bus scenario. I'm sitting right next to this fellow human being. So far, there's not a single reason why I should dislike this person, but I don't know why, if you put him and me on a bus next to each other, I want him as far away from me as possible. Just stop touching my shoulder! So that was the last time I took the bus. Unfortunately, that's not the only place you meet strangers. One time I was at Home Depot and I was looking for jumper cables and I couldn't find them anywhere. And I don't know if I'm the only human that's like this, but I will try everything in my power to not talk to a sales associate. I guess it's because I know they get paid minimum wage and their life sucks and I just want to leave them alone and not make their job any harder than it has to be. But asking employees for help isn't even bothering them that much. In fact, I think it's part of their job. Like, what's the worst thing they're gonna say? Ugh. You don't know where one specific item is? Everyone else knows.
Maybe.
Did you even look? They're in the jumper cable aisle, idiot. No one's gonna think that. So feeling desperate, I mustered up what little courage I had and swaggered up to someone wearing an orange vest and said, excuse me, do you know where the jumper cables are? I don't work here. Oh, you don't work here? And then he walked away.
He's got an orange vest on.
And then he waddled away, waddle. And then the very next day, bam, bam, bam. So I think the logical thing to do in that situation would have been to find someone who does work there. But I left the store because I didn't want to run into that same guy again.
What?
But I also bought a hammer because I didn't want people to think that I stole something. So...
Bro, you be overthinking it
Yes.
a lot.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, if you wear an orange vest to Home Depot, just expect people to ask you for help. Same goes for people who wear red
You might
shirts
want to
at
take that
Target.
off before
It's
you
true.
I learned from my mistakes, but no, I have a bunch more examples. When my book came out, my publisher said that it was going to be carried at Barnes & Noble, and I thought that was super duper cool and wanted to see my book in the wild. Not to buy or anything, just to have a look at. So I took my friend Adam from Something Else YT, and we went to the local Barnes & Noble and started our search. We looked in the humor
Something
section,
Else.
didn't find it. Then we checked the new release section, it wasn't there either. Then we looked at the best-selling section, then the religious section, but we couldn't find the book anywhere. So either the publisher lied, or they had already sold out. But just to be sure, I asked
Books
one of the
by
workers,
YouTubers.
hey, do you guys have a book by TheOdd1sOut? He kind of looks like this. And the worker typed something out on his computer and said, oh yeah, we got those in the back. We just haven't put them out yet. So then he went to the back
son of
room,
a-
brought out a copy and handed it to me saying, here you go, kid. And I thought, well, frick. I can't just hand it back to the guy and say, oh no, that's okay. I didn't want to buy it. I just wanted to have a look at it. Do you know how inconvenient that would be?
So he's gonna buy it.
The only
He's
less
gonna buy his
awkward
own
option
book.
I could think of was to buy my own book. And you know what? I'd get a couple cents back from this
I'll
purchase, so
support
it wouldn't have
me.
been a total loss. But Adam, being the more sensible one, said,
Dude, this is ridiculous. You have to come clean.
so then he went to the worker and said,
So he actually wrote this book. He just wanted to get a look at it, like,
On
in
the
the
shelf.
wild.
and the worker said, oh, that's so cool. Do you want to sign our copies? And then I thought, well, hold on. You're not even going to ask me for
He
my
smacked the
ID?
pin.
How do you know I actually wrote this book and I'm not some guy trying to deface someone else's? And then the guy gave me a whole stack of my books and I signed them all. Last story before I go. I was in the hallway of a building and me and this potential friend crossed paths. He said, hello, and I was going to respond with, hello, and how's it going? But I combined the two and ended up saying, how? And then I jumped out a window and fell to my death. I
That's not
can't
combined.
rationalize that
What is-
behavior. Maybe I spend too much time on the computer and I'm not used to looking at real people's faces, but I'm trying to change. Don't get me wrong, going to conventions and meeting fans has helped me a lot with talking to people. Granted, those conversations are usually one-sided and a real stranger won't already know who I am, but they've still helped me. Now, you might be expecting me to give you advice on overcoming social anxiety, but if you watch this video, you know I'm not the most qualified to give that advice, but I'll try my best. I know it's hard to feel confident and I'm still working on it, but you have to understand that we're all people and we all have things that we're struggling with. And in reality, we're not all watching or caring about every little thing that other people do. We're all too busy worrying about what other people think of us. So with enough practice
people.
and
Yeah,
believing in
that's
yourself,
true.
you can show the world your true colors, and I think you'll find that people are a lot nicer than you think. So if you're the middle seat guy on the bus and you have to decide whether or not to move, do whatever you want.
I'm
No
not
one
gonna be in
cares.
the middle
Just
seat. I'm
stop
gonna be
touching my
standing up.
shoulders. Hey everyone, I know it's been a while. Thank you for being patient with this video. May has been a really busy month because some of you might know that May is my birthday month and I don't work on my birthday month, so if there's a lesson you should
That's
take away
nice.
from this video is don't worry about
He
being
said his
awkward,
birthday
because
month.
everyone is
I did.
weird. And if anyone makes you feel bad for being awkward, then not only is that person more weird than you, but they're also an a-hole. I have some events coming up very soon. I have VidCon and chess boxing, and then I'm also going on tour with a bunch of people that you might recognize, like Jaden and Ross and Domix and Ego Raptor, just to name drop a couple people. So if any of these events look
a lot of
interesting, you can buy some tickets in the description
That's the
or
one
through
we
the
did
event
with
tab on my
something else.
website.
Yep.
And if you're yearning for more Odd Ones Out content, I just
See
wanted
it?
to remind you all that I have a second channel, and either today or tomorrow I'm going to be uploading a video where I answer some math questions with
Okay.
my friend Pat. Please watch.
Alright, so the talking to strangers thing. You're right. Like, to call another person a stranger
is kind of insulting. After you think about it, it's kind of insulting.
But I think that term is like mainly used for like kids. Like,
stranger danger.
Stranger danger. Stranger danger.
Or danger, it's a stranger.
Danger. It's a stranger. Hey, both of them sound crazy. But like I say, I think that term is like basically used for like little kids.
Not for like, some adults be like, he's a stranger.
He's a stranger, but only when you're like talking to like a kid now.
Yeah, but I do agree with the part where you can't judge people. Like, I would have missed out on a lot of cool people if I judged them like when I first seen them. The same thing with me. Like, I don't know what people's perception of me is. Like, I'm afraid to ask.
Yeah, I don't know. Like me, I don't really care. Like what you think about me, like whatever. I don't really care.
Yeah, I know that for you. Like, like even for I'm not gonna say I lose sleep over what people think about me, but for the most part, I know I'm a good person. So I will hope that people think or know that I'm a good person for the most part.
Yeah, I think they know that.
Yeah,
I think they can see it. They can see that you're a good person. You know what I mean? Like me, I would consider myself as a good person, but I still tap that ass too as well. Like, you know what I mean? Like you just gotta like, it gotta be some kind of balance.
That's what
like
I mean.
Like,
that's what I mean when I said most of the time.
Yeah, in case like like if people push my buttons or something, like
yeah. But I do agree with that. We should be a little bit more open and try to get to know people, even if they look, like you'd be like, oh, this is not somebody I would normally talk to. Talk to them. You might find that that's the nicest and coolest person that you've ever met in your life. Like, that's the truth. That
does happen. Like, if you just give people a chance, only if they don't look weird. Like, if they look like a serial killer,
then don't, evidently don't
I
invite them
try to engage a conversation.
For tea and crumpets, or for cheese, for grilled cheese sandwiches. I know you're not eating that. Yeah. But I'm just saying, you just, go with your gut. When they say go with your gut, if it feels weird, get out of there.
Yeah. Yep, that's true. Yeah. So let us know what y'all think about this in the comment section down below. So we want to thank y'all for joining us for the video. Remember to like and subscribe. Leave your comments down there.
And see you next time.
We out.